New England Revolution's Luis Caicedo leaps into the air after kicking the ball away from Montreal Impact midfielder Alejandro Silva during an MLS game on May 5. Paul Chiasson, the Canadian press. When the Montreal Impact franchise was launched 25 years ago, no one was sure what to make of the club or the American professional soccer league they were playing in. But as the APSL morphed into the A-League and then the USL First Division, the Impact became one of the best teams with the biggest crowds, winning 3 championships in the so-called Second Division before they entered Major League Soccer in 2012. On Monday, when the Los Angeles Galaxy visits Saputo Stadium, the club will celebrate the 25th anniversary of its first home game, a 4-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Rowdies at the Claude Robillard Center on May 21, 1993. Story continues below advertisement. It was a new thing, said Nick Desovic, the former Canadian international defender who scored a goal for Montreal that day. The Canadian Soccer League had just folded. It was an unknown league, a joint US-Canadian league. At the time, it was the top level in North America. A lot of players went on to MLS. Desovic, now a television commentator, doesn't remember much about the game itself, however. But I didn't score a lot of goals, so I remember that, he joked. Montreal native Cameron Walker also had a goal, while Italian veteran Nicola Zanone, one of a pair of Europeans brought in to bolster the lineup along with Frenchman Patrice Ferry, scored twice. The Impact was made up largely of players from the Montreal Supra, a team that lasted 3 seasons in the CSL. The majority of the players were Canadian, many of them local. Also in the first game was midfielder Nick DeSantis, who later coached the club to an A-League title and is now a team vice president. Mauro Biello, the club's career scoring and games played leader who coached them in MLS, was on the team, but wasn't dressed that day. Story continues below advertisement. On a sadder note, the anniversary falls less than a month after the death of midfielder Pierre-Richard Thomas, who was in the starting 11. Some now in the local soccer media, such as Lloyd Barker, Grant Needham, John Limniadis and Rudy Doliscat, were on the 1993 squad. Others came from the outside, including Desovic, goalkeeper Pat Harrington and defenders Dino Lopez and Jason DeVos, who is now Director of Development for Soccer Canada. DeVos watched the game from the bench, where he spent the first 4 games until he asked coach Eddie Famani either to use him or let him go elsewhere. He was on the pitch next game. It was an important part of my development, said DeVos. I was only 19. The demise of the CSL the previous year meant I didn't have a pro team to play for. Then, lo and behold, the Impact offer came up. For Canadian players, the Impact and an even older club, the Vancouver Whitecaps, then called the 86ers, represented a chance to play pro soccer at home, a prospect that looked doomed when the CSL folded in 1992. Story continues below advertisement. I wouldn't have had a career if not for owner Joey Saputo and the Impact giving the opportunity for Canadian players to play. DeVos said. For the same reason, both ex-players are excited about the Canadian Premier League, a national circuit expected to begin play next year. The MLS clubs in Montreal, Toronto and Vancouver use only a few Canadians each with any regularity. Desovic, who went on to play for Stade Briochin in France's Second Division and St. Johnstone in Scotland before ending his career with the Whitecaps, opted to join Montreal after playing for North York in the CSL. He liked that Fermani played attractive football, and that he'd get regular playing time on a team with relatively good crowd support in a city he liked for its European feel. In only their second season, with Valerio Gazzola as coach, the Impact won the APSL title. striker Gene Harbour, a member of the Rowdies in 1993, scored the championship-winning goal for Montreal. Things have been gloomier of late, with the Impact off to a 3-8-0 start under new coach Remy Gard, the former Olympique Lyonnais boss who is still in rebuilding mode after the team missed the playoffs in 2017. Caicedo went into the dressing room to tell the players their 2-0 loss at home to Philadelphia last week was unacceptable and embarrassing. Disovic remembers happier times. "We'd have been nothing without the support of Joey and the Saputo family," he said. "The money they put behind us, the trips to Italy. They're going through a tough time now. It'll take Gard some time, but he's a respected coach. I don't think there's anything to panic about."